Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome in to Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports and sports into something we don't talk about. My name is Matt, with me is Dyl, and today we're going to be giving another round of Oscar final predictions, this time for the specialized categories. So we're going to be getting right into documentary, international feature, and animation. And for this one, I'm going to start us off, Dylan. Let's do this a little bit differently this time. So let's start with international feature. This one is the big question mark, I think. I mean, we just saw at the Critics' Choice Award, All Quiet on the Western Front could not win over RRR. But I'm going to have to say All Quiet on the Western Front is the frontrunner here because it's going to win BAFTA. It is nominated for Best Film at BAFTA. It's nominated for everything at fucking BAFTA. Everything at BAFTA. So All Quiet on the Western Front, that's our frontrunner right here. After that, I've got Decision to Leave. Then I've got Close. And I think we can agree on those three, right?
Yes. I think I still have Close at 2 over Decision to Leave, but easily I think they're interchangeable.
Well, Close did miss BAFTA today. So it's not necessarily one that needs to win or anything, or needs to be in winning conversation anymore. But here's where we're going to differ. I'm going to say... Right now, neither of us have Argentina 1985 in, which won the Golden Globe, was nominated for the Critics' Choice, was nominated for the BAFTA. It feels like a hero. I don't think it's getting in. I really just I have this feeling in my stomach that Argentina 1985 is going to be the big surprise snub of the day, and I don't see it. So... my number 4 spot, I've got The Quiet Girl from Ireland, which just got the BAFTA nomination. It looks very strong. It has some of the best reviews of the year. And then at number 5, I've got Joyland from Pakistan, which has that sort of wave of controversy behind it, which is a very American sensibility of a film, and talks about some things that I think a lot of voters are going to really want to be talking about. So that is my top 5. I know you don't have my 4 and 5 there, Quiet Girl or Joyland, so what do you got instead?
Joyland's a smart pick. Everyone out there, don't listen to me in this category. I'm just being stubborn. I have EO and I have Bardo. These are 2 movies I want, and these are 2 movies that I feel like, or Bardo more so than EO, will resonate with the Academy more than other branches. I had Bardo at 4, I have EO at 5, but Joyland honestly probably should be my number 4, and then I think it's between Bardo and EO and Argentina for that last slot. Bardo's just a movie that feels so much like an Oscar pick. They love AGI, and I feel like it would be weird to just not put him in for his most personal movie yet. Like, I get the movie hasn't been the critics' favorite, but it's a technically well-made movie, and I feel like that could be good enough just to slide in. On the other hand, Joyland, as you mentioned, has the controversy. Quiet Girl has the reviews. To me, Quiet Girl seems more like a European, UK type thing. Will that translate? Possibly. I'm leaning on the no side. Argentina has the stats to back it up, but also, as Matt said, it's same distributor, Amazon, and A Hero missed just last year. Kind of feels like the same thing. EO has the critics' love, but also is just a different type of movie. And another one I feel like probably should be our 5 slot in most any year, but this year's just so weird, is Corsage. Like, last year, I think Corsage is in, and honestly, Corsage was probably number 3 if it came out last year. Maybe number 4 after Flea, but this
year... You saw it this week,
not,
though, right?
I did. I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
But it's a movie, and it has a very good Vicky Krieps performance, which in another year, maybe this could be a bigger player. Just this year, international's deep. I wouldn't say international strong. Like, it doesn't have as many, like, big juggernauts, but it's very deep. Like, I think you could say 12 movies that all realistically could get into this category, and some people may look at you funny, but some would be like, okay, I see your angle, and that's kind of how I feel. I think there's a very solid top 3, and then after that, I think if you ask 10 people, they'll all give you 10 different answers.
Yeah, but that said, Close could miss. That's another thing. Close absolutely is not safe. The only films that I think are safe are All Quiet and Decision to Leave. Those are the only 2 that I think are actually safe.
I would say it's
if
just
anyone
All Quiet.
says anything differently, it's a fool.
I'm
if anyone thinks you're fine saying that Decision to Leave is not safe. If anyone says Argentina 1985 is safe, that's what I'm saying. That's a fool. That's a fool right there. You're fine. You're being less like lock heavy than I am, because I'm saying there's 2 locks. You're saying there's 1. So maybe I'm the fool, but ultimately, I think we're both not foolish on this one. It's the people who think Argentina 1985 is a lock. It could still get in, but it's not a lock. It's not at all a goddamn lock.
I would say to everyone out there, just go with your gut on this category. Pundits will say Argentina, they'll say EO, they'll say Joyland, they'll say Bardo, Corsage. Everyone's just going with their personal pick for that 5 slot and what they kind of more want to see. And I will just say, for you out there, do what you want. Because honestly, this is a category that could make or break your Gold Derby, but you can pick up points in other categories as well. And this is a category where I think most people are going to be 3 or 4 out of 5. I don't think many people are going to go 5 out of 5.
No, aim for 3 out of 5 in international feature. Because if you aim for 3 out of 5 and you don't go for the 5 expected ones, you might get something that's... Like Joyland has 100 to 1 odds. It's got 100 to 1 odds on Gold Derby at the moment. And to me, that's a great thing that's like... That looks like something that might be a surprise, even though it shouldn't be a surprise. But if you go with the predicted top 5, you will end up getting screwed over in some way.
And that's how I feel going over to Best Animated Feature, because there is a predicted top 5. And to be honest, I think there's 2 safe movies here. I know some people will be like, oh, there's a top 4. There is a top 4. But 3 and 4, I think, could miss. I'm not predicting a miss, but I wouldn't be shocked if on Tuesday morning, Marcel and Turning Red don't show up. I would be surprised if they both don't show up, but I wouldn't be shocked if one of them somehow misses. But Pinocchio, lock. Puss in Boots, lock. I had Marcel at 3, Turning Red at 4, and at the 5 slot, I think it's between Wendell and Wild and Bad Guys. Bad Guys is campaigning harder. Wendell and Wild is the more name recognition. It's stop motion. It's Netflix. It's the bigger movie, not financially, but probably in visibility for Academy members. And I'm leaning Wendell and Wild, but as mentioned before, this is a category I'm very up in the air about. And on Monday morning, I could switch to the Bad Guys because I've heard the Bad Guys were the first animated movie to send out screeners. They sent out like 4K Blu-rays and stuff so people could watch it in like the best format they could at home. And it's been out since, I think, March is when it had its theatrical release, maybe April. So it's the oldest movie here, and it's probably the one everyone saw first. So if a voter's out there not really putting much effort in an animated feature, they're like, okay, well, I saw Bad Guys. Pinocchio's Guillermo del Toro. I just saw Puss in Boots. There's 3, and then now it's filled out with 2 more.
Mm-hmm. I think we could see something really interesting in this category, with the 5th slot being something completely out of left field, just due to vote splitting. Mm-hmm. And that's why I agree with the top 4. I don't think that Turning Red is vulnerable in the slightest. I think that is incredibly safe. Marcel the Shell still feels vulnerable, even though it's gotten every single nomination. It just still feels to me like the type of film where some members of the Academy are going to be stuck up little bitches about it and be like, it is not animated. And that worries me, even though it's gotten in everywhere. But I think it's in. I think we can say that top 4 is happening. But number 5, it's the interesting thing. Wendell and Wild didn't get an Annie nomination. Bad Guys didn't get an Annie nomination. Minions didn't get an Annie nomination. My Father's Dragon, I think it got an Indie Annie nomination, so that's possible. Did you know that Lightyear is the first Pixar movie ever to miss an Annie nomination?
Well, if you're a long-time listener of the show, we told you so.
We 100% did. But I think everyone kind of expected it to flop. Strange World also didn't get an Annie nomination. And so now I'm kind of tempted. I mean, I have Wendell and Wild at number 5, but I'm really tempted to predict something left field and to go with Little Nicholas, which I've been hoping for all year. 100 to 1 odds. It got in at the Annie noms. It got in there, which is great for it. And it shows that some people watched it. Inuo also got in there. And you know what else got an Annie nomination over Wendell and Wild? Over the Bad Guys, over Minions, over the Disney movies, The Sea Beast from Netflix. So maybe that's number 5. I don't know.
Yeah, like I just said for international animation as well, go with your gut for 5. If you want to be risky and possibly jump people on the leaderboards, go with Little Nicholas. Go with a Sea Beast. Get those high odds. If you want to play it more safer because you're taking a risk in categories you would maybe feel more passionate or more strongly about, go safer. Go Bad Guys. Go Wendell and Wild. Go My Father's Dragon. Take those pretty safe type odds at number 5, because then you for example, if you went in Joyland in the international for slot 5, maybe go Wendell and Wild here for animation 5. While if you went maybe like Argentina and international for 5, maybe a little Nicholas or something here, so you can kind of balance those odds out.
Yeah, it's all about mitigating risk, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's such a tricky one because, like, none of these animation lineups have told us anything about what slot 5 is going to be.
Exactly. Everyone's different, or some places like BAFTA just say, here's your top 4, nothing else.
Exactly, and it's so frustrating because we just want someone to give us some clarity about what this final slot is, and no one's giving it to us.
Well, clarity, that's something documentaries usually provide about a subject or a topic, and
unless they're Moon Age Daydream.
Yes, unless you're Moon Age Daydream. But looking at your list, we have the same 5, the same order, but I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so I'll talk about this right here. So, let me actually just go from some of the ones that I don't have in at the moment. I don't have The Territory in. That feels pretty good at this point. I've said in the past, like, it's a very good documentary. It just doesn't feel like something America's ready for. And it missed BAFTA. It missed some of the other important places. Then there's Moon Age Daydream. This made the Sound shortlist. This got the BAFTA nomination. It's very highly predicted on Gold Derby. The reason I don't think it's getting in is just like we've been saying. It doesn't feel like a documentary. It feels more like an audio-visual experience. And then number 6, there's Descendant. Descendant, this is Barack Obama making this film. Well, he didn't make the film, he produced it. But still, the thing is still there. It's got visibility from Obama. And that's why it could totally get in. It would be an expected member of this top 5. But I don't see expected being the way that we go. So here's my top 5 in no particular order. All That Breathes. It got BAFTA. That's big for it. It has been winning international documentary awards. It's been winning all over the goddamn place. It is win competitive. Then, of course, there is Navalny. Navalny, also win competitive. You saw it yesterday. What did you think?
I liked it a lot, and I think, as we've mentioned before, if it's in, it wins.
Yep, if it's in, it wins, and it's in. It's like, goddamn, what a scene. You know the scene I'm talking about. What a goddamn scene. Holy shit, that is such a scene. Then there are the 2 ones that people are thinking this could be the big documentary snub of the year. That's Fire of Love, that's All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. It's very possible one of those 2 misses out, but I don't know which one, so I'm not going to try and predict it. Because one of them will get in, and probably one of them will be left out. Or maybe both of them are in. So, Fire of Love, for me, this just feels really strong. All the Beauty, yes, I can see it's going to appeal much more to the critics than it is to really anyone else, but I'm going to stick with both of them. And finally, my last slot here, Bad Axe. Bad Axe feels like the type of film that is going to appeal a lot to certain members of the documentary branch. It's incredibly indie in a way that these other films aren't. These other films feel like they're very big, well-funded documentary endeavors. Bad Axe is charming, it's little, it has that home video feel, which is part of why I'm not a huge fan of it. But at the same time, it's endearing, and it's going to really cater to some documentary branch members.
Yeah, the first thing I would say to anyone out there, if you're predicting Fire, Love, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, and Moon Age Daydream to get in, you're predicting 3 archival footage docs to make it in, when they very rarely even put 1 in. So I think at the minimum, you have to take at least 1 out. Matt and I are both taking out Moon Age Daydream because it's completely all archival footage with no, I guess you can say, real interviews, because it's all previously done interviews for the most part. Yeah. Fire Love, while it is all past footage, there is a new voiceover guiding the story, and All the Beauty is about half archival and half current. I have the same 5. I think that Navalny's definitely in. I don't know how you watch that and don't put it in, because it doesn't have anything majorly going against it, unless you want to say, like, oh, it's controversial, but that doesn't stop this branch. They don't care. All That Breathes is the most safe movie here. It's 100% in. I know you can't say that with this category, but come on. All That Breathes is in. All That Breathes is in.
Yeah, something I want to say about Moon Age Daydream as well. The reason why people are predicting this so highly is because it's in Sound's shortlist. That's the only reason why people are like, this is getting in. It's because they saw that it was mentioned by the Sound branch, and they went, oh my god, that means that the documentary branch will like it. Well, what happened with Welcome to Chechnya last year? VFX VFX shortlist. Of course it's going to get in documentary because it got shortlisted by the VFX branch. Ultimately, 0 nominations. Same thing is going to happen with Moon Age Daydream. It does not matter that the sound branch shortlisted it. It's not going to get in.
Yeah. And I would say if you're going to be bold and say Fire, Love, or All the Beauty and not just play 50-50 and you're going to take one of them out, Descendant makes the most sense to be your replacement nomination, but I also would bring light to the Janes. While it's maybe not the most well-liked doc, it's about a very relevant and important topic, which easily can slide its way in here, be the 5th slot. It could replace Bad Axe if they feel like Matt, where the home video style isn't really up their alley. I know a lot of people really love this documentary. It may be one that has maybe the most passion for it, like loving it, but the rest of the movies here, or documentaries here, all have the more like well-grounded consensus, while Bad Axe is more like an up and down type movie to most people. But Navalny of it's in, I think it's winning. All That Breeze feels like the most safer nomination, and then Fire, Love, All the Beauty, Bad Axe, I agree they're probably in, but Descendant or Janes could possibly play spoiler if one or two of those misses.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think that the most likely scenario is that one of Fire of Love or All the Beauty misses, and I think Descendant could make it in over one of those.
I agree. And I would say if Bad Axe misses in addition, that's when Janes comes in. I don't think Janes replaces Fire, Love, or All the Beauty. I think Descendant does, but Janes would replace Bad Axe.
Yeah, this category is just a shit show. We don't really know what's going on here, but what we're aiming for is 4 out of 5. We're aiming for 4 out of 5. That's all we want.
Exactly. And for 4 out of 5, you put All That Breeze at your number 1 slot. You put Navalny. You put both Fire, Love, and All the Beauty because you at least get one of them. And then at 5th slot, you can pick between Descendant, Bad Axe, Territory, Janes. I'd probably say move Janes above Territory, but in that order.
Yeah. And this would be the point, because since we're doing specialized categories, this would be the point where we talk about the shorts. But we already did that. Go check our last few episodes. We talked about all of the shorts categories, gave our predictions. I've seen all the films, so I can tell you I can't tell you what's in and what's not, but I can tell you what's definitely not in and what Gold Derby is full of shit about. Like Save Ralph. Don't predict Save Ralph. But go back, listen to those, and I hope that you can do well on your shorts predictions because of that. My shorts predictions have not changed since then, so go and listen to those.
Yeah, check them out. But until next time, my name's Dyl.
And my name is Matt, and this has been Fantasy Filmball.